What's good, y'all? What's the numbers TV? It's your boy Poe Rowe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and like a video if you appreciate the content that Poe Rowe and What's the Numbers I providing. Today we back with another profile piece. This one is on ASAP Yams. In this video we will look at his early years growing up in Harlem. Then we will discuss his and ASAP Rocky's friendship that would over time grow into a movement that would expand worldwide. And lastly, we will look at Yams' addiction to popping Xans and drinking lean that will ultimately take his life at an early age. ASAP Yams, real name Steven Rodriguez, is from Harlem, New York. Growing up in Harlem was a movie back in the day, as it was a place filled with many different cultures. Yams would take it all in and become obsessed with rap music at an early age. He would drop out of high school after getting left back in the 10th grade 3 different times and eventually started interning for Harlem's own Diplomat Records while still a teenager. Although he wouldn't get to accomplish too much with the Diplomats, he did have a front row seat to the hustle and networking it took to get the Diplomat movement hot in the streets. Yam credits that accomplishment to Jim Jones, who he says he watched build the Diplomats from the ground up as far as the street grind. From there, Yams began managing some local producers and sold mixtapes on the side. A true student of the game, he used to break night researching the independent thinkers like Tony Draper, Jay Prince, and the aforementioned Jim Jones. Yams learned what it would take to one day get his team into the spotlight and beyond. In 2007, Yams formed the ASAP Mobb with Barry and Ills. About a year later, while running around Harlem with his new crew, he would meet a kid named Rocky. Rocky would become part of the ASAP Mobb and start releasing music under the name of ASAP Rocky. In 2010, Yams started posting to his now defunct music blog on Tumblr. It served as a vast archive of his musical obsessions and favorites, earning him credibility as a tastemaker. It also proved a strategic home for Rocky's single Purple Swag in early 2011. The song's online popularity on Tumblr propelled it into the laps of execs at RCA and led to Rocky being the first one to sign a major label deal out of the ASAP crew. The rest is history, because after releasing his mixtape, Rocky was offered and took a 2-year, $3 million record deal with RCA Records and Polo Grounds Music. 1.7 of that money went to his solo work, and the other 1.3 funded his and ASAP Yams' new label, ASAP Worldwide. From there, ASAP Rocky and ASAP Mobb as a collective started to take off, but not just in the United States. Something about ASAP's style of music and fashion appealed to a broader fan base, which led to a number of lucrative opportunities overseas in other countries. Next, another rapper named ASAP Ferg will be introduced on a larger scale to the public, while founding member Barry will go on to start a clothing line named V-Lone that will do well in the street fashion lane. ASAP Rocky will give executive producer credits to Yams and drop back-to-back #1 albums. From there it was non-stop shows and festivals all across the world. He even got locked up in Sweden one time while out there for a performance. Now while the ASAP Mobb is blowing up, so was the aura around Yams, the kid with the birthmark under his eye, who had a hand in starting the ASAP takeover. Yams was moving in the industry, hosting radio shows and designing ASAP-inspired apparel, all while remaining a fixture in the New York City nightlife. He also kept his loyal fans engaged in what he had going on or coming up through his active social media output. Now we also have to mention that Yams was not shy about his love of drugs, as addiction was also a big part of his life. His recreational use of Xanax was well known, and he was often seen clutching the white styrofoam cups that's associated with the mixture of codeine and soda known as lean. Throughout his battle with drugs, Yams did attempt to rein in his substance abuse one time by entering himself into a rehab facility. But sadly, on January 18th of 2015, Yams would pass away after being found unresponsive in his Brooklyn apartment by ASAP Rocky and another ASAP member. The cause of death was ruled an overdose due to a mixed drug intoxication. Yams was just 26 years old at the time of his death. Since then, the ASAP Mobb has kept his name alive by throwing a Yams Day celebration every year on the day he passed. The event premiered in 2016 with a boastful performance lineup including some up-and-comers such as Action Bronson, Lil Uzi Vert, Pro Era, and Flatbush Zombies, who have all since grown even more in popularity. The concert can't bring Yams back, but it's a great celebration of the life of one of the founding members of the ASAP Mobb. But yo, it's What's the Numbers TV. This is a quick profile piece on ASAP Yams, real name Steven Rodriguez. Now, rest in peace to him. If you know anything about Yams, you know Harlem. You know what I'm saying? A big part of what ASAP was, behind the scenes, move maker. As far as taste maker, they called him. You know what I'm saying? Knew what was hot, knew what was coming up next. And basically was a big part of ASAP coming to the forefront, you know, because when Rocky came out and ASAP Mobb and all that, you know, it was a little different as far as they was from New York, they was from Harlem, you know what I'm saying, some from the Bronx, this, that, and the third. But the music sounded like a down south, like a Houston or something. But you know, the videos was in Harlem, so you got the backdrop of the city, but the music sounded like something that's not really New Yorkish. And then, you know, they was able to come out, the fashion took off for them, V-Lone took off, ASAP Rocky doing modeling gigs here, there, Ferg popping off with the music. Now, Yams, his mom said at the time, you know, after he passed, that he was in like a transition period, whereas for other people in the group had certain things going on. He had the label, but you know, it was at that time he was still trying to find other acts, you know, to really stamp himself as a like not a mogul, but you know, as far as like a CEO in the game, where he's the one making moves, bringing artists out, this, that, and the third. So he was in that stage. His money wasn't all the way right, calling to his mother. So he was still at an early stage of his career where he was trying to go with it, even though the ASAP as a collective was doing their thing. So he always dealt with different drugs as far as like addictions and all that. And it's sad that he lost his life at such a young age, but he did accomplish some things, man. So it's always got to tilt your hat to somebody that's able to accomplish things in such a short period of time. 26 years, he was a part of something big, to the point where they celebrate his life every year. Even during the pandemic, they had like a virtual Yams Day. So he left his mark, man. So that's why I did this profile piece. You know, from New York, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he needed a profile piece on What's the Numbers TV, man. So like I said, rest in peace to Yams. I like the video. Anybody who was a fan of the Mobb, ASAP Mobb, what they embodied, what they did, you know what I'm saying? Yams, rest in peace to him, man. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And that's it, man. What's the Numbers TV, your boy Po Ro. But before we get out of here, let me just say, go follow the Instagram. If you need some promo, holla at me, WhatsTheNumbersTV@yahoo.com. Go follow my partner, Batty Bills, on the channel. Go follow him on Instagram. Subscribe to the channel. We're at 78 something, on our way to 79. Ultimately trying to hit 100K. And if you appreciate any content, you want to donate, support the channel, Cash App, $ What's the Numbers, man. All donations are appreciated. But until next time, man, we back before you know it, man. It's your boy Po Ro. I'm out of here. Peace.